Hi, I'm wondering if I'm live. Facebook has changed a ton of settings on this dashboard. Oh well, if you can see me, say hi. If you can hear me, say hi. Who knows? I think I'm live. I guess let's just go with it. All right, so welcome back, everybody. It's really good to be here again and see you all again, and thanks so much for joining me. I've really been looking so forward to today's session because this is something I really feel is so prevalent in this day and age. And yeah, so for those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Sam and I'm your confidence and mindset coach, and I work with women around the globe to live with purpose and clarity and confidence, and really help them to reclaim their power and control over both their personal and professional life. And so today we're going to be talking about the signs that you're dealing with self-sabotage, which is a key aspect that's really holding you back from reaching whatever that goal is that you've set out to achieve. And so whether that's in your business or in your career, your relationship, your weight, whatever it is, self-sabotage is poison, because more often than not, we aren't actually even aware that we're doing it. So we're also going to be talking about some of the things that you can do to become aware of when you're self-sabotaging, as well as some techniques that you can start to implement to work through this behavior and retrain your brain. So I see there's a couple of people jumping on, so hi. As you're hopping in, please just say hi so that I know that you're here. Give me a like or a heart, show me some love, tell me where you're watching from. And as always, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments box and I'll answer them as we go. And if you're watching the replay, of course, be sure to give me a hashtag replay in the comments so that I know that you stopped by. And also, if you've got any comments, just drop them in the box and I'll get back to you. All right, let's jump in. So imagine this. You've been working really hard to improve your life, your business, your weight, your career, whatever it is, okay? And you are, hey Kone, nice to see you. And you're convinced that you have tried everything, but still months later, maybe years later, you still feel like you're no closer to your goal. And it feels frustrating, right? Because it feels like nothing you do makes any difference. Does that resonate with you? If that resonates with you, drop me a comment in the box, or drop a heart, or say me in the comments, just so that I know that you're with me on this. I've been there, okay? I can't tell you how many times I have ugly cried in the bathroom or on the kitchen floor, feeling all kinds of hopeless, worthless, wondering why nothing is working, okay? Why I'm bothering trying so hard when I'm seeing absolutely no results. Honestly, I've been there and it totally sucks. I know, I totally hear you. So what if your thoughts and your actions are what's keeping you stuck? What if deep down you don't really believe that you're capable or worthy of success? What if your innermost fear is that you're not good enough, or that you'll be judged, or that you're not worthy? What if, just what if, you're afraid of success because of some deeply ingrained beliefs that you have about successful people? You know, it's easy for us to blame outside circumstances for keeping us stuck, but in reality, you might just be the one sabotaging yourself with your limiting beliefs. Now, I know that some of you are probably thinking, I'd never do that to myself. Why on earth would I be afraid of success or having an awesome body or whatever? The thing is that you might be doing all of this without even consciously being aware of it. So Do you put yourself down in front of others or berate yourself when you've made a mistake? Do you let yourself get distracted from your work? Those are some of the things that we do to sabotage ourselves from being successful. You may have noticed a post that I added in the group earlier this week where I was in major procrastination mode. I'm not perfect. I'm totally not perfect. And I still have all the same struggles that you have. The only difference is that I am consciously aware of these issues. So I was able to recognize this procrastination as a form of self-sabotage, and then also recognize it as a fear of failure of whatever it is that I was doing. And then obviously took steps to flip it. And so that is really my intention for today. It is my hope that by making you aware of the signs, that you'd be able to start, spotting them when they come up for you. And as well as then, obviously give you the tools that you'll be able to use when you spot them, so that you can flip them on their head and move towards, a positive step, towards your goal. It works the same way as when you buy a red Porsche or whatever car it is that you drive. And then suddenly you start seeing that exact same vehicle absolutely everywhere, even though the number of vehicles manufactured or sold hasn't even increased. Has that ever happened to you? I know that sure has happened to me many times. If this has happened to you, please let me know in the comments as well. So this is called the Baader-Meinhof effect, if you're interested, or red car syndrome. I'm sure you've heard of it. But basically, it is a frequency bias, which basically says that if you're exposed to brand new information, especially if you find that information interesting, your brain takes notice. Without going into too much detail, your brain basically then files that as important, and then it filters information, and then it makes you aware of it when it happens. Eckhart Tolle, he teaches something similar, where he says that anything unconscious dissolves when you shine the light of consciousness on it. And that's something that really resonated with me because I've been a long-time student of his. So right now, you may be unconscious about your limiting beliefs, your thoughts that are keeping you stuck, maybe your self-sabotaging behavior. But by us taking the time today to shine a light on these unconscious behaviors, we now bring them into the light so that they can disappear. Make sense? Okay, cool. So back to the self-sabotage. The problem is that we love to blame the situation or other people for our lack of success. And perhaps you think that your partner or your boss, your office or your environment is holding you back, whatever it is. Sure, these things play a role in your success, but you also have to take responsibility for your own actions and avoid playing the blame game. One of the things that I've learned in the years that I've been helping people is that when you're in victim mode, you can't be helped. It's only once you've decided to take responsibility and recognize that you are where you are right now because of the choices that you have made during your lifetime, that's when we can truly start doing the deep work that it takes to move you to a place of success. So one of the best explanations for why we self-sabotage comes from Gay Hendricks' book called The Big Leap, where Hendricks basically describes that we all have limits as to how much love, success, creativity we let ourselves enjoy, right? And when we reach that limit, that's when we end up self-sabotaging. So maybe when things are going really well in our lives, or we make the first sale and it just seems too easy, we start to wonder if it's too good to be true. And then maybe we start to imagine things going wrong because we think we don't deserve to feel this good. But the truth is, you do deserve to feel this good. And you deserve to feel that good all of the time. But as soon as those self-sabotaging thoughts begin, you start to fall back on old habits and old patterns of thinking. And you do things that push you back into your comfort zone because that's where you feel the safest. Or maybe you do some gigantic kind of oversteer, which then leads you even further behind than you were before. So there are 4 main reasons why you might self-sabotage your success. And the first one is that you feel like you are flawed and you don't deserve good things. The second one is that you fear others abandoning you because success brings change. The third one is that you believe that success will make you a burden to others. And the fourth is that you don't want to outshine others with your success. I see more people are hopping in. Please say hi so I know that you're there. If you can relate to one of these reasons, please let me know in the comments with a 1, 2, 3, or 4 of which one of these resonates with you. So I'll say them again to remind you because that was quite a mouthful. Okay. So the first one was that you feel like you are flawed and you don't deserve good things. The second one is that you fear others abandoning you because success brings change. The third is that you believe that success will make you a burden to others. And the fourth is that you don't want to outshine others with your success. So let me know in the comments which one of these resonates with you. And you know, the truth is that all of these deep beliefs need challenging. Remember, our thoughts impact our behavior. And so it's imperative that we recognize when our thoughts are what's holding us back. Okay, so onto the unconscious, sneaky signs that you may be self-sabotaging. I've got 7 for you today. Number 1 is that you're always busy, okay? You may feel like you need to plan the shit out of something so that it doesn't fail. But the problem is that you plan and plan and plan, but you never actually act on it, right? So you're essentially using planning as a procrastination tool. You might say, oh, but that's how I get organized. Okay, cool. So if you're using it to get organized, then awesome. But remember, unless you're also taking action, you're actually just over planning and procrastinating. Also, being busy is not the same as being productive, okay? Keeping yourself busy can be a sneaky form of self-sabotage. So if you're working long and hard, but you find yourself no closer to achieving your goals at the end of each month, it's time to look more closely at how you're spending your time. And one of the things that I found that works really well is to plan no more than 3 important tasks every day that will take me a step closer to my goal. Also, are you spending copious amounts of time on social media? You know, are you being sucked into your timeline, checking out what other people are doing? Or are you using social media deliberately, you know, for business purposes, for example? I can tell you that I had to have a really hard look at this. And now I hardly use social media for personal reasons anymore. It's just too much of a time suck for me and I end up getting nothing done. Told you I'm not perfect. Also, consider your beliefs about success. You may have grown up in a family where you heard phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, or you may feel guilty if you find an easier way of doing things, right? Because maybe the belief that you grew up with was one around needing to work hard to be successful. And the way that I like to work with my clients is to poke holes in these beliefs so that there is an opportunity then for a new belief to be instilled. So in a nutshell, hey Kim, nice to see you. In a nutshell, your brain will do anything to prove that it's right. So it really holds on to those beliefs, and especially if, you know, it's a belief that has been held onto since childhood, right? So basically, if we poke holes into the belief, it creates a doubt. And where there is doubt, a little crack begins to form in the belief, giving us room then to start implementing a new belief. So for example, the belief about money doesn't grow on trees. Well, actually it does, right? Because money is made of paper and paper is made from trees. Boom. Make sense? And now we can decide what new belief we want to believe to replace that thought with. Does that make sense? Hey guys, as you're coming on in, I see there's quite a few of you watching. Please say hey, so I know that you're here. Okay, cool. So if you've just joined us, we're on to self-sabotage sign number 2, okay? And that is that there is always something more that you feel that you need to have before you can get started, whether that's an experience or a skill set or a certification. And frankly, this is just another procrastination tool, if we're being completely honest. So instead of you getting started, you're searching for answers that you need to help you to take the first step. And I've seen this with some women that I've worked with, where they'll take course after course after course, feeling like they just aren't ready to take that next step. They had this mindset of, if I just do one more course, then I'll be ready. But then that turned into another and into another, which then led them into even more overwhelm, and nothing got done, and they were stuck in information overload. Fortunately, I managed to help them move through that. So, they got to taking imperfect action, okay? But really, the advice here is for you to just dig into what you already know and get started. Imperfect action is better than no action at all, okay? Learn as you go. It's totally fine to keep honing your craft, but you also have permission to move forward with what you know right now. And if you're not giving yourself permission, then I'm here giving you that permission, okay? Recognize that almost everyone is afraid of being seen as a fraud. Here's another truth bomb for you. Real frauds aren't too concerned about being seen as frauds, okay? It's only the people that want to do their best. They are the ones that worry about that kind of stuff, okay? So just do the best that you can. Keep learning and growing as you go, but please don't wait, okay? Because you already have so much to offer right now. Okay, on to the third sign. That is a lack of commitment. You may have started something, but then given up halfway through because you weren't getting the results that you wanted. Maybe you started a blog, but nobody read it. So you chose a different niche and you started a new blog. But if you had perhaps given it more time, the results would have more than likely come, okay? Remember that success takes time, and it happens when you commit to yourself and your ideas, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Also, this reminds me of some inspiration that came to me during a meditation some time ago. I was really struggling with a certain personal situation, and yes, I was absolutely 100% self-sabotaging, no doubt, okay? And in this meditation, it came to me that I needed to drop plan B. Now, anybody that knows me, okay, totally knows that I am a type A personality. So I always have a plan B in case things don't go as planned, okay? And basically, I was told in this meditation that if I have one foot in the door and one foot out, that I'll never gain the results that I hope to achieve. And it made so much sense to me. Total epiphany moment, okay? I spoke to a friend a couple of weeks later about this, and she said to me there's actually a name for this, which I was totally unaware of at the time. It's called burn the boats. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. If you've heard of it, let me know, because I totally didn't know about this. But basically, it's a concept in which you leave no other option for yourself in the context of whatever it is that you've set out to achieve. So in 1519, Captain Hernan Cortes, I hope I pronounced that correctly, landed in Veracruz to begin his greatest conquest, okay? And when he arrived, he gave an order to his men to burn the ships that they arrived in. And when questioned about this decision, He said, we're either going to succeed or we're going to die trying. There is no other option but to succeed at the goal of conquering. Anyway, that really spoke to me because basically it's motivation and commitment on steroids. So is this helping you? If this is helping you, please let me know in the comments. I really hope this is valuable for you, and if you can identify yourself in any of these signs, I'd love to know about it, and it'll be great if you could just drop it in the comments and let me know. So if you've just joined us, we're now on the fourth sign of self-sabotage, and that is a lack of consistency. Without consistency in your work, in your behavior, in your daily routine, you're going to find it difficult to make progress. Personally, I have in my calendar scheduled with daily recurring events, also weekly and monthly tasks and events, so that I can really be sure to maintain that consistency. And that ties in quite nicely with self-trust as well. You know, if you say that you are going to do something and then you forget about it or you end up avoiding it, you'll soon lose trust in yourself and in your abilities. Having an accountability buddy or coach is also superbly helpful. I've got 3 business coaches, 1 personal coach just for sort of day-to-day life type stuff, and I have a health and fitness coach. And all of these coaches are in my life for a specific reason. They hold me accountable to whatever it is that I say that I'm going to do, and they help me work towards my goals. And without these 5 individuals, I'm not sure I'd be where I am today. Now, I'm not saying go out and get 5 coaches, okay, but I'm sure you get the point. All right, so on to sign number 5. Talking so much. Okay, so sign number 5 is that you're getting caught up in drama. And sometimes when you get so close to having what it is that you want, it feels too good to be true. And you may subconsciously be waiting for the other shoe to drop. You may find yourself picking fights with your partner, you know, out of the blue without even realizing that you're sabotaging your own happiness. So if whenever you start making progress on your goals, maybe you become a magnet for drama, that could be a sign that deep down you feel undeserving of good things happening to you. So recognize this as a pattern. It's not a life sentence. You're not the first person to go through this, and guaranteed you certainly won't be the last. Okay, and now that you're aware of it, you can't unknow it. Okay, and you can recognize that you now have the power to change it. So the next time that you're caught up in the drama, take a step back and ask yourself, well, am I really upset about this issue, or am I distracting myself from moving forward? Maxine says, hi Sam, I finally caught you almost live. Yay, my baby was sabotaging me from catching you live. Well, I'm glad that you can make it this time, Max. I'm so glad to see you. Hi. Okay, so on to number 6. And number 6 is perfectionism. You think that everything has to be perfect before you can move forward. Now, there's a major difference between wanting to put out your best work and waiting for things to be absolutely perfect. And I hate to be the one to break this to you, but perfectionism doesn't exist. And perfectionists are the ultimate procrastinators because they can always find something arbitrary as a reason as to why they can't get something done. So recognize that perfectionism is an illusion and it doesn't exist, okay? Give yourself permission to be perfectly imperfect. And remember, done is better than perfect, as my friend Dean loves to tell me. So also see mistakes and failures as necessary obstacles on the way to success. Okay, so the last self-sabotage sign I've got for you today is sign number 7, and this is really a good one. You make unhealthy decisions that feel good in the short term, but ultimately take you further away from where you need to be or want to be. If you numb yourself with food, sex, alcohol, shopping, Netflix binges, or anything else, instead of focusing on what's important, then you're self-sabotaging. It's sometimes easier to distract ourselves and to do what's comfortable because it feels safe, right? But when you numb yourself, you're essentially pretending that what you want doesn't really matter. And then you don't have to try, and then you won't fail. But not trying is actually way worse than trying and failing. Over time, that avoidance will actually only make you feel more miserable. And the difference between numbing and having fun is that the one makes you feel guilty and bad about yourself, and the other doesn't. So understand that it is not the behaviors themselves that are the problem, but it's the intention behind it. Don't beat yourself up over it or shame yourself, okay? If you think you have an addiction, reach out, get some help. But if it's a case of self-sabotage, awareness is key. Okay, so create that space for your favorite activities in your schedule, but make sure that they aren't taking away from the time spent on your goals and the things that are important to you. Make peace with the fact that success and failure go hand in hand, and you can't have one without the other. So now that you have an understanding of how you could be self-sabotaging without even realizing it, you now have the power to change things, okay? And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I'd love for you to tell me rather, which of these behaviors resonated with you, and what is the one action that you can start to take right now, today, to start flipping that switch on your self-sabotaging behaviors. You know, you can't remove self-sabotage completely from your life, but you definitely can change the relationship that you have with it, okay? And now you can also use your newfound awareness to recognize when you're getting in your own way, so that if you do find yourself self-sabotaging, you can stop it in its tracks and you can flip the switch. And, you know, I find it really helpful to ask the question, is what I'm about to do self-defeating, or is it helping me to reach my goals? And if the answer is that it's self-defeating, then I stop and I refocus my energy. You have a split second before taking an action to decide if it's self-sabotaging or if it's self-improving. And most of us run on autopilot, and we don't even realize when we're self-sabotaging. So it's really, really important that we start becoming more aware of what's going on in our heads. Practicing mindfulness helps to improve awareness. And I also find that writing in a journal is also really helpful because, you know, you're getting your thoughts out of your head so that they don't need to swirl around in there and take up space. Okay? So I really, truly hope that this helped you today. Just remember that you are absolutely worthy and deserving of having your big goals and dreams come true. And it may take a little bit of effort to overcome these old beliefs and habits, but you can totally do it. And I know that you showed up today because you know that in one way, shape, or form, you're self-sabotaging and you're wanting to shift through this and take your life to the next level. And what I know for sure is that we are all born whole and that you have everything that you need within you right now to live the life that you want and to make that a reality. So if you're ready to up level and if it's time for you to get that support, DM me and I'll help you get there faster. And because you've watched this far, I have a gift for you. All right, so if you are one of the first 5 people to DM me right now, I'm going to gift you a free 30-minute breakthrough session with me valued at $450, where we will take your biggest limiting belief and smash the shit out of it, okay? I am not kidding, and I promise I'm not going to sell you anything or ask you for anything. If when you see how powerful the session was and you want more information about how to work with me, then when I open reopen my doors rather to my one-on-one program, then I'll be so happy to give you that information. But if you don't ask for it, I am not going to push you on it either. You have absolutely nothing to lose. So if you joined late, please watch the replay where we have been talking about 7 signs to recognize self-sabotage and the ways to overcome each of them. And the fact that you have shown up to watch this today tells me that you're showing up for yourself and that you are taking action and that you can do absolutely anything that you set your mind to. So I am super proud of you for showing up for yourself today. Please take a moment to acknowledge and honor yourself. And again, don't keep trying to do this alone. It's not necessary. You aren't alone. You're in this group for a reason. I'm here. I'd love to help you. Reach out, okay? Just reach out. So I really hope that today was valuable and that you'll start to recognize when you're sabotaging yourself and stop it in its tracks and flip it around. And if you're not taking me up on my offer, then I really hope that you will try to recognize some of your limiting beliefs and begin poking holes into them so that you can start implementing new and empowering beliefs in their place. And I'd love for you to keep me updated about how it's working out for you, and I'm sure that you'll have some beautiful results that so many of the women that I have worked with have gotten out of this as well. Maxine says, maybe it's also a matter of, if I attain that goal, what'll I have left to beat myself up about? I actually have to give myself credit. I was skinny and flawless, which is what I always thought I wanted, but I was miserable because I didn't do it in a sustainable way. Then I had lathe and I put on 35 kilos, but through that I appreciated my body and its capabilities so much more. Yeah, absolutely. You know, sometimes, well, I mean, the other thing that I want to say to you, Maxine, is that why do you want to beat yourself up? You know, if we have the self-love that we all should have, there shouldn't be any reason to beat yourself up. But what I do love is that you've started appreciating your body for its capabilities, for the gorgeous children that you have. And that's an incredible first start to starting to love yourself again. And I'd love for you to just drop me a note and let's jump on a call, that 30-minute call that I was talking to you about with the breakthrough session. And I'd love to like kind of dig into this with you. And I'm pretty sure that we can smash this out of the park. And also I have some other ideas about what else you can start to do and implement to start loving yourself even more than you already do. You're definitely on the right track, and I can help you with a few more ideas as to what you can do to just be even better, okay? So take me up on that offer and message me now quickly. Okay, so next week we're going to be talking about soothing emotional triggers. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this term, an emotional trigger is basically a memory or a past experience or event that sparks an intense reaction, regardless of your current mood. I have yet to find anyone that doesn't have a trigger response, myself included. I've still got them, still working through them. So I really hope that I'm going to see you there. I am going to be helping you to identify your triggers, as well as give you some tips on how to soothe them when they rear their ugly little heads, so that you can move through those states much more quickly. So check out the events section in the group and RSVP so that you'll be reminded of when the broadcast starts. I am really, really looking forward to speaking with you all then. And until then, have an incredible weekend, and I'm going to see you same time, same place next week. Bye for now.